Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. My name is Agnes van Rhijn, and I'm a holistic business mentor at Success on Your Own Terms. I help professional women reach their full potential in life and in business while remaining true to who they are and what is important to them. I'm also the founder of the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, and today it is my privilege to be interviewing Tandy Elisala. Tandy inspires women to be confident and courageous as they take passionate actions towards their life purpose. She empowers women to love themselves first and lead a life that matters. Through Tandy's 30 years of experience as an executive and as a coach, combined with her experience as a four-time cancer thriver and family caregiver, she learned why following your passion and purpose is critical and what this truly means. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, Tandy. How are you?
I am fabulous, Agnes. It's so great, and I'm honored to be here with you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, and you seem to have quite a story. We share a similar sort of background in that we both come from the corporate world, and at some point we have wanted to move out of that. But it seems that the circumstances in which you moved out of it are slightly different than mine. So tell us more about that.
Yes. Oh, Agnes, yes. So December 22nd of 2009. My dad was involved in a massive 20-plus car pileup. He was hit by a semi amid a dust storm on the freeway, and he suffered severe traumatic brain injury and physical injuries.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was my already disabled mother's caregiver. So that was a really challenging time. And you know, because I spent 25 years in corporate America in executive leadership roles, I thought that I was Superwoman. I could do it all. Thank you very much. It's all good. And you know how it is. I mean, when you work in corporate America and in executive leadership, it's not an 8-to-5 job. And I found myself really struggling between a career that I absolutely loved and employees who I just cherished, and a mission that I really believed in. I was really highly engaged, you know, at work. Like I just loved my career, and then I also loved my family, you know. And I made the difficult decision, although it really wasn't difficult, to leave my career. At the time, a 21-year career, to take care of my parents full time.
Wow.
And my kids and I was going through a divorce at the time as well. And I had already been raising my kids as a single parent. And it was my second divorce that I was going through. And my family, my kids and I made the decision that unless my parents' needs exceeded our capabilities, we would move them in with us. So we moved my parents in with us. We changed out our family room for their bedroom, you know, swapped out the artwork for all the hospital gear, and we made it work. And we took care of them for 2.5 years, Agnes.
If I may interrupt you, just to try to put things in perspective, how old were your kids back then? Because all those women that are listening are often also having kids, of course.
Yes, my kids were, my kids were 18, 14, and 12.
Yeah, so not necessarily the easiest ages. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very challenging. Yeah, teenage years for sure. And so started my journey of being a full-time caregiver for both of my parents. Weeks before my dad's accident, Agnes, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she was already disabled. She was already wheelchair bound, oxygen bound, congestive heart failure, COPD, high everything, diabetes, kidney failure. And then now cancer. So she, you know, I saw her through that, as well as my dad through, over the course of 2.5 years, 11 brain surgeries.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a really challenging time. And I don't regret a minute of it, because I was able to help my parents live and die with dignity, and together. And that's what they wanted. They died almost 5 months to the day of each other. And so, but what ensued after that, Agnes, was, I was out of work, for those 2.5 years. And I, used my savings and my retirement to help take care of the family, keep my kids afloat. They were teenagers and in school, and pay the bills and everything. And it was extremely challenging. And I found after they died, that, it was really difficult financially. Like I experienced financial ruin, I lost my home, I sold, if it wasn't nailed to the wall, like I sold it. Like it was extremely, challenging for sure. And you mentioned in my bio that I'm a 4-time cancer thriver. Yay! And while I was caregiving, I was going through cancer a 3rd time.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I had that as well. And but it was really my 4th bout of cancer, Agnes, where my true transformation occurred.
So tell us more about that.
It was stage 4. So it was worse than the other times. I needed surgery, chemo, radiation, very intense daily therapy. And even though I was grounded, in my spirituality, in my faith, in my gratitude practices, and all of these things that I teach women, I found myself finding it very difficult to want to stay alive, because I was in excruciating pain. We were now living in an apartment on the 3rd floor. To get up and down the stairs every single day for treatment, especially in the summer, was extremely difficult here in Arizona. And there were days, Agnes, that I really was like, you know what? I'm good. Like,
I had it.
And but it was my faith, it was my trust, it was my children, it was my clients, it was my my self-love, my gratitude that really brought me back to giving me the strength, building that resilience muscle. As you know, when we go through tough times in life, we got to build that resilience muscle, to get through it. And so that's what I was doing. I was building my resilience muscle. And the thing that got me through, the biggest thing, was that I knew that my purpose was much bigger than cancer. It was much bigger than caregiving. It was much bigger than being a mom. It was much bigger than being a corporate executive. It was about changing lives all over the world and helping women be able to tap into their passion and their purpose, and live their authentic life and love themselves first. And it was in my 4th bout of cancer, Agnes, that I really got clear that I was perfect in all my imperfections.
Love that.
And that I was okay. I was going to be okay. And that was a huge shift for me. It was a huge shift. And I just, I figured at that point, that was why I went through it a 4th time, to really, really grab that.
Sometimes you really have to go very deep so that you know that the only way is up.
Yes.
So just to understand at what point did you start working with stuff like that? When did you set up your business in that journey?
Yes. So I set up my business in 2012. And so that was right after my parents passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a book that was published in 2011 called Healing Through the Chaos. And it was about my caregiving journey and helping other caregivers through navigate the caregiving process. And for a while, I was a caregiver coach, but I kind of did it, sporadically. But it was right after they passed away in 2012 that I said, okay, I'm going to do this. Yet when I was going through my fourth bout of cancer, Agnes, I couldn't do anything. Okay. That year was completely, I just did nothing.
Given what you're describing, I don't think there was much room for anything left in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you transition from being in such a poor shape yourself, probably also recovering from the deaths of your parents, that's also a grieving process, of course, to, well, you did mention you were already spiritual, you indicated, but to setting up a business and helping other people to really live their purpose.
Yeah.
How do you transition to that?
Well, I transitioned to that. I'll tell you the why and then the how. The why was I was tired of corporate America. After having been in corporate America so long and in executive leadership for so long, and then to something completely different, in taking care of my parents, I realized that my parents, taking care of my parents probably saved me a heart attack. Being in corporate America, it probably saved me tremendous pain in so many ways. And so I was thankful. I gave thanks for that experience. And then what I did was, with my book, I kind of used that to pivot to a business and said, okay, I'm just going to coach people. And so I did that. And I did that two ways. One is through in-person networking events here in the area. Yeah. I went to different meetup groups that were around caregiving and caregivers and family caregiving, and got some clients that way. And then the online world, I've set up my business page and then just started learning the online world of entrepreneurship.
So you have not been a business owner before that, so it was your first step in that journey. What did you find most challenging in that process?
The technology.
Technology.
Because I came from a corporate background. The processes, the setting up stuff, like connecting the dots with everything, that was a piece of cake for me, just because I came from corporate America. So I knew, I was managing, almost 1,000 people, and I was responsible for the entire, services related to almost 500,000 students, that we served. So I was really immersed in processes and policies and all of that. So all the compliance pieces, all that stuff was honestly a piece of cake. It was actually two things. It was technology, meaning my website and all those pieces, and knowing where everything goes and how to put it together. And the second was copywriting. I'm not a copywriting queen. Marketing is not my thing. And so that was extremely challenging too.
So to come back to the first of the two, because that's a very frequent one, of course, when women come from the corporate world. I often see it with my clients. They are, oh my God, how do I do it? Because in the corporate world, of course, you have all those departments who take care of everything for you.
Right.
So you just go to the right person or place the right order or purchase order or whatever, and they just take care of everything. And of course, that has completely disappeared.
Right.
So how did you, because that obviously happens all the time, how did you find the right answers? How did you handle that? Were you in meeting the right people? Were you, I don't know, in the right masterminds? How did you address that?
Yes, excellent question, Agnes. A couple things. One is I joined a mastermind. And the second was I joined different Facebook groups. And honestly, it was like, I just found these groups. And another was a live event that I attended. I attended a live event in 2012. And that live event, I met amazing people. So it was the event was great, but it was more the people that I met,
the connections
the connections that I met through that live event. And I knew the power of live events because I had, again, come from corporate America. I'd gone to a lot of conferences, spoke at a lot of conferences. So I knew the value in that. And it was just serendipitous. Like it was amazing. The people I met, we created a private Facebook group. A lot of us were at different levels of our business. Some of us were already at 6-7 figures. Some were just starting. And it was beautiful because we all came together to collaborate. And we created a virtual summit to help lift each other up and do that. So through those connections, like one connection led to something else, one connection led to something else. You know how that works, like it just spokes out. But it's truly the networking and the connections that I made at this live event. And this live event was a business and marketing event for entrepreneurs. So it was a pretty cool thing. And then I met other people that led me to a mastermind and private Facebook groups that were really powerful. And then as I outgrew them, and I learned other things and went to other events. So that's kind of how it happened.
Tandy, I have a question, a curiosity. These masterminds you were talking about and this private Facebook group that you've created with the people you met, etc. Were they women only or was it mixed gender? Just being curious.
Sure. It was about 75% women, 25% men.
Okay. I'm saying that because there's one thing that I increasingly notice is that quite often in the corporate world, women will tend to complain about the lack of support of women for women, where the opposite is happening once they become entrepreneurs. There really is a very strong bond. It's really about collaboration. Of course, it's a general rule that I'm expressing here for the not supporting and for the supporting. But it's massive. It really is very, very different. It's as if by becoming an entrepreneur, women suddenly understand the value of collaboration, the value of supporting each other, etc. I love that. I really love that. Yeah.
Oh, Agnes, yes, that is so true. And that was a huge component that I learned very quickly was that in the entrepreneurial world, women were very supportive and wanting to help lift each other up. And in corporate America, it was all about competition. It was competition, not collaboration. And yeah, that's one of the things I love about entrepreneurship is the collaboration. Yeah. And there are some people that are competitive, but I can find those people pretty easily and say, I'm good. So
and you resonate with the right people. So
yes,
it works automatically. So I'm getting conscious of time as well. what would be your favorite tips that you would want to give to a woman who would want to go after her dream, or dare reinvent herself? Or what would you say?
Yes. A couple things. First is, when you know your passion and purpose, take imperfect action.
Oh, I love that.
You've got to take action, because perfection is the enemy of progress. And as women in particular, we tend to be perfectionists. So being cognizant that nothing is ever perfect, even in anything, nothing is perfect. The only way you can improve something is to put it out there, and then you can make improvements on it. So take imperfect action, that's number one. Number two is set boundaries. As women, again, we tend to say yes, 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 yes. And when we say yes to the wrong things, we aren't making room for the universe to bring us the right yeses, because we're so busy with all the no's. So be very cognizant about what it is you say yes to, and learn to stand in your power, empowered, and say no. You can say it gracefully.
Yeah, of course.
But say no. Maybe is the death of productivity. So never say maybe. Just say yes, or thank you, I appreciate you thinking of me, I pass, or I'm already committed, or this isn't my blah, 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 blah. So that would be another. You've got to set boundaries. You've got to set boundaries. So that's number three. You got to set boundaries. You got to, the yes and the no and the yes, that kind of be its own thing too. But really being clear with people. As entrepreneurs, we can sometimes work 17, 18, 19, 20 hours a day because it's our business. And we tend to work in our business and on our business.
Yeah.
And I really, 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 really want people to know that you've got to rest. You've got to take care of yourself.
Self-care.
And you've got to have time for planning, and time for thinking, time for creativity, because that, my friends, is how you develop those wonderful, magnificent ideas about your business. You know, instead of working so hard to get this posted or get this posted or get this graphic to work or what have you.
Tell me about it. I've done that.
Yes, absolutely. And I think self-care is just really important, and having a gratitude practice has really been foundational for me.
Excellent. Very good tips. The thing that I would like to add, maybe to bounce back on what you were saying about the imperfect actions, etc., is that we also, when we start our business like that, have this very strong tendency, as women in particular, to over prepare because we're not yet ready, but be conscious that these are only excuses. That's right. Just because we're afraid to go. So just go. And as you say, readapt then as you go, because then you can, right. It's also taking the time, when you mention taking the time to reflect, etc. It's also taking the time of observing what worked, what didn't work, and readapt, etc. And you're right, quite often business owners don't do that. They're just in the middle of their thing, and that time to step back and reflect is absolutely vital. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So Tandy, tell us more about who you work with, what you do, and where people can find you.
Great, love to. So I work primarily with women, and I help women to be confident and courageous as they take passionate action towards their life purpose. So I help you find your purpose, and I help you create a plan to attain and get there. All while understanding and recognizing and supporting you for the magnificent spirit you are, and recognizing that that women are perfect in all their imperfections, as I mentioned, one of the things I learned. Self-love is the best love. And to lead a life that matters, because at the end of the day, Agnes, we're going to wonder whether we made a difference in other people's lives. Absolutely. And whether we fulfilled our purpose. And I can tell you that through the experience with my parents and through my own journey through critical health challenges, I have really learned to appreciate the power of our legacy. So leading a life that matters is so important to me. And so that's what I help women do. And I have a self-care checklist for women to kind of go along with the whole self-care thing, because I think that's really important. And they can find that at bit.ly/self-care list.
And your website?
My website is tandyelisala.com.
And
or you can get there through centerforinspiringgreatness.com.
Okay.
Easier.
Okay. And I suppose that on your website they can find that checklist as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah.
So having your website is enough to find you and then find the different other places you're visible on the social media.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, Tandy, thank you so much. I've really loved this. Thank you for sharing that journey. It's quite a special story. Definitely very different from the reasons why I left corporate. For me, it had more to do with there must be more to life, the nagging feeling type of things. But yes, this is showing that, life does stand in a way, but it's always possible to bounce back. If you connect to who you are and what is true to yourself. So take that time and work with women like Tandy to find out if you don't know what it is. So thank you so much. So for the viewers, if you are interested in finding out how I can help you connect to the true you, live your life to its fullest potential, and in that process create the business that will help you sustain the lifestyle you desire for yourself, you can book a complimentary discovery consultation with me by going to my website. That is agnesvanrijn.com. So the usual 3 W's and then ANYESVANRHIJN.com. Thank you so much, and see you in the next interview. Bye.